I actually played one more game this weekend, very short bit of time. It's one of those games that you can't really beat per se. I played Game & Watch Collection 2 for the Nintendo DS, which if you don't know, this is one of those Club Nintendo Game & Watch collections that they gave out. And I only got the second one, not the first one. I never looked in to see how expensive they are, but you would get this as, basically replacing the My Nintendo reward system. You would get these physical Club Nintendo games from time to time. Anyway, so what this actual game is a collection of 2 Game & Watch games, Octopus and Parachute. And it is not like Game & Watch Collection or a Game & Watch Gallery, where they have like Mario themed versions of these. These are pretty much straight like replications of Parachute and Octopus. So Parachute, basically you have this boat that goes across the bottom of the screen. You can go between like 3 or 4 different positions, and there's a helicopter and guys parachute out of it, and you got to go ahead and collect them all. So you have to make sure you're doing the right order. They have different trajectories they fall out with. So, someone who falls at a lower trajectory may still land before somebody falls at the higher trajectory. So you as the player just basically needs to time it in a way that you can basically, line up the order of which you need to collect these parachuters. There's 2 modes for each of these games as well. So Parachute, the mode A is very straightforward. You just have characters dropping down. And in mode B, there's actually a little extra wrinkle where the characters with the lowest trajectory can get caught on a tree and they get stuck there. And how long they're stuck there for is not like a set amount of time. It's like different intervals basically. So you're sitting there waiting for them to get unstuck from the tree, and like other characters are like falling down. You're like, oh god, oh god, oh god. And then you have to just like basically make a split second decision of like, am I going to wait at this tree for this guy to fall out, or if I'm going to go collect the other people? And I honestly kind of don't like that mechanic because it's like really hard to tell. And like I've definitely had times where like I'm waiting that the last, what I perceive is the last possible second to go collect the other guy, the parachute guy in the tree falls down, so I'm already moving away, and then he drops down in the water after that. So yeah, it is a little challenging. So I played that for a while. I got like a score of around like 200, I think, on Parachute specifically. And then the other game in there is Octopus. And Octopus is one of those games where basically you have one of those games. I don't know if there's many other games like Octopus per se, but basically you move left and right underwater. And then you also can climb up onto a boat. So you start in the boat, and then you climb into the water. There's a giant octopus down there. His tentacles are going around, and then he has a treasure chest below him. And what you do as a character, or what you do, is you basically go from your boat down to under the octopus, and you collect the gold under the octopus. But his different arms are extending out at different lengths all the time. So you have to keep an eye on those arms. Sometimes the arm behind you that will close off your escape path when the other arm starts coming down. So you have to kind of like judge that based off the speed of how fast the arms of the octopus are extending. And then you can get bonus points by taking the gold you have and taking it up to the boat. There's a mode B for this, and honestly, I do not remember what was different about mode B other than just it was faster. Yeah, I can't think of anything. But one thing I do like about Octopus and Game & Watch Galleries, so the ones where they actually put like the Mario characters in there, is that there's actually a weight aspect to it as well. So you go and collect gold as Mario underneath the octopus, but when you try to go back, depending on how much gold you have, the slower you move. So the actual bonus points you get for surfacing in that version of the game is actually a lot better. But unfortunately, that one's not in this game. So, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think I like base Octopus. I like Game & Watch Gallery Octopus, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I need to go back and play and make sure, but I think base Octopus on its own, not a huge fan of, unfortunately. So I only got a score of around like 80 on that one. Nothing great. Feel like that's okay. Actually, 93 I think was like the highest score I got, because remember I was trying to get 100. I think that's the closest I got. So yeah, so there's those 2 games in there, and on its own maybe seem not very exciting, but there's also a bonus mode in these where they combine 2 Game & Watch games. So those 2 games that I mentioned before get combined. So you basically, there's the boat aspect that's like the similar, connection between those 2. So you basically go and you play Parachute, and then at some point, there's like a marker that appears. You can go and go underwater and go get gold. So you save people, go down, try to get gold. And kind of the neat interaction this has actually specifically is, one, you have to make sure, like, there's no real stress into going down and going into the octopus space. Like if you just stay up top, as far as I can tell, like nothing bad will happen. But if you're underwater collecting gold and the helicopter comes back, you really have to like rush back up, or else it will start dropping people, and if you're still underwater, you can't go collect them. Although your boat will automatically collect people if it's in the right slot at the top. You can only leave it in the leftmost slot, so I think that's the only spot you can actually leave it. But if they drop in that leftmost slot, you do have some like leeway there, because they'll still fall in the ship. But what's neat about this mode specifically, other than the back and forth there, is when you collect gold, depending on how much you collect at once, when you go back up, the bonus is significantly multiplies the number of points you get when you rescue people. So the amount of gold seems to add a multiplier to the people you rescue on top. And it's a really cool dynamic there. I don't know if I got like super high score on that or anything like that. And then I believe mode B just reintroduces that parachute thing where they get stuck on the edge there if you play in mode B for that. So anyways, I think it's like 800 coins at the time, which was pretty expensive for my Nintendo or Club Nintendo rewards back then. And give it the fact that they're like making an entire cartridge for you with a case and everything, makes a lot of sense that it would be a large number of coins. You don't really get those physical copy games anymore these days. Even towards the end of the lifespan, like Nintendoji was a DSiWare thing, so they didn't want to give you a physical copy, right? So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And like, part of me, if I ever saw Collection 1 for like a reasonable price, I probably would check it out. I've not looked into it recently, but I get the feeling they're probably not reasonably priced. Could be wrong about that, but who can say?